am following Jeremy Lee for a lot of these updates and everything because he called out the fact that a bottleneck situation was created both by the roadblocks and the Lahaina and the police that were essentially there to help people move away from this fire and stay in safety, although the opposite happened. We all know that. Check out his recent video, an investigation. We're going to give some commentary and let me know your thoughts in the comments as we are watching this together.
There's a reason Jonathan Herzog's video has been viewed over 1 million times. It tells the story of Front Street in those crucial hours of 3 p.m., 4 p.m., and 5 p.m. Jonathan Herzog's day didn't just end with roadblocks, but it began with them during his AM commute from Kihei.
And then as I got into Lahaina, they were redirecting us all around through these back streets and branches were coming down.
On his way to Kanapali.
And that has been the common theme of all of this, is that people have been redirected to different areas. One side was worse than the other one. And there was branches and there was nothing was safe, right? It wasn't a very well thought out situation. I mean, the police chief said that there would be a report. I'm still under the idea that it needs to be independent of these people. It really does. Where exactly it shows what communication was had, who had it, who was involved, who and what happened, because that is how we start piecing things together.
Herzog started filming as he entered town, sensing unusual conditions.
The winds were the worst winds I've ever been in my life.
When he was later heading home through Lahaina town just before 3 p.m., he hit this roadblock on the southbound highway at Kapunakea before the Cannery Mall. Herzog backtracked to where Front Street meets the highway. Traffic moved well enough at that time to rejoin the highway near Lahaina Luna here at 3:02 p.m. But then, Herzog says, traffic snarled with downed trees and crews working to the south.
Then I ended up turning around and trying to go north again, thinking, well, at least I'll get out of Lahaina.
But to the north, the gridlock was worse, he says, so he detoured over on Baker and then south again on Waine'e. At 3:19, his camera shows a police vehicle blocking access to the highway at Papalaua. But nothing had eased up, so
vehicles were blocking access. Roads were blocked.
Without GPS, he heads north to look for an open route. His first view of the fire at 3:24 p.m. on the hillside. And just before 4 p.m., he ends up in this line of cars on Front Street.
What are you supposed, listen, there's a line of cars. Are you supposed to just hang, like, that was my question to everybody. What was people supposed to do? You supposed to hang out there? But were people arrested during the time that these officers were directing people from the roads that could have gotten them out of the fire? Let me know. If anybody knows that information, let me know.
In gridlock.
My goal is to get into the Kingdom Hall parking lot.
Just sat there, I think it was a good 25 minutes, something like that.
Holy cow, dude. So now the smoke is virtually blocking out the
And by the way, his video went viral for those that are wondering.
light. I am going to make my way down to the water.
At 4:26, Herzog abandoned his car at Kingdom Hall and walked to Mala Wharf.
It was obvious the fire was out of control, so that's when I decided to leave the vehicle completely.
Passing vehicle after vehicle, he noticed of those on the bridge.
All of those cars were still sitting there, just same exact spots.
KITV4 reported on the other side of the Cannery Mall that Herzog passed by in the 4 p.m. hour. The highway was completely shut down for 2.5 hours at Keawe Street until at least 5:24 p.m.
Was the fire at the highway? Did they know what direction this fire was going? Just a question.
Traffic routed towards Front Street. At 5:30, Herzog comes to the end of Front Street, and to his surprise,
Looks like 2 police vehicles parked kind of nose to that exit for Front Street, kind of at a V like this. The traffic had basically bottlenecked.
Oh, Jesus. And let me zoom in that picture. Look at that. There's a vehicle right there, y'all. Right there. Hopefully you guys can see it through my circling of my mouse. Maybe I'll put a little red circle around it. There's your vehicles right there. You got all these other vehicles over here waiting. And I don't know if this is like a car accident here or what's going on right here. But y'all see that? Bottleneck situation right there.
right there. So there were cars in both lanes trying to go north by this point, but everyone was stopped on Front Street right there.
As the maintenance worker walked past the gridlock, heading north on foot, at 5:33 p.m., motorists had been fleeing into the water, as seen in Noah Tompkinson's video, 1 mile to the south of the Front Street roadblock
God.
near Baker.
So these images that we were seeing, definitely real. All of this was real.
2 blocks south of where Herzog had abandoned his car.
That's just scary, you guys.
I asked the chief of police directly at the last press conference, were command and control for fire and police in contact that afternoon in the emergency operations center? He declined to answer that.
Of course he did. He also declined to answer about the road and Keabe, about the road and the roadblocks and everything. Were people directed a certain way? What did he respond? People were directed to safety. What was safety? They didn't have a really good grip on this situation. Let's just be real. They didn't.
But says that police were directing the public away from dangerous power lines. Hawaiian Electric says those power lines were de-energized as of the morning. Reporting from Lahaina, Jared.
So the power lines, so when people were picking up the power lines, they really didn't, they were de-energized. I don't know if that means that they were, safe to be moved. Tell me in the comments, because this is where I'm not very well versed in that, but they could have moved them. So the police were directing them away from the power lines that were already de-energized, which means what exactly? Let me know your thoughts in the comments about this whole situation.
Jeremy Lee, KITV4 Island News. Back to you.
Let me know your thoughts in the comments about this whole situation as we continue to cover it. I'll see you guys on the next one. Rabbits out.